Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Struggy, and today I have a review for you about a film called Who's Watching Oliver, which is the debut film of normally a man behind the camera by the name of Richie Moore. And here's the cover of the film. It's distributed by Gravitas Ventures, which is a relatively newer company which has been picking up some independent features. And I happened to actually see this at a festival here in Milwaukee, which I was previously the year before a contributor to helping out the previous year. And what ended up happening is I ended up watching the film there, and then I ended up getting contacted by the writer who goes by the name of Raymond Huber, and we started talking, and he gave me a screener for the film, and I gave it a write-up then. But it's good that I'm returning to this film because seeing it on the big screen and then watching it on your home entertainment is a little bit better, at least to me. I'm not really a big theater goer, so I mean, I used to when I was younger, when you used to be able to find times where you had an empty theater. But now that there are a ton of people out there, I try to keep my viewing of films down to the at home experience. So in any case, so we have a couple of characters. First, we have Oliver, who is kind of a loner, and he is played by he's played by Russell Geoffrey Banks. And sorry that I had to look. My memory sometimes isn't the greatest, but he put on a phenomenal, acting experience. Look out, Psycho. This is the new mother-son experience. He plays a loner who evidently lives in his own apartment, but he is controlled by his mother on this laptop for her enjoyment, not for his, even though it is partially forcing him to rape and kill victims. So you get the impression that he's been doing this for quite some years. Well, and the first thing that we notice is that there's this cat that evidently is kind of a stray in his building, and by the time we see the second victim that we know of, that he has killed, the cat has come to somewhat live with him, so he's getting used to having this companionship with this cat. So this is the first kind of instance that you can kind of sort of see him starting to crack under the pressure of being controlled. Now, I actually had an instance where in my life where I knew someone who was a Mormon, and he controlled a young woman that I knew. This was way before I knew my fiance or anything like that. And her mom actually called a private detective in on the whole situation, and somehow I ended up in the same room as Rick Ross, which, if you know anything about Rick Ross, he put together an organization to basically take and try to sever people from being in cult-like relationships or cult-like memberships of any kind. Because, well, for example, he mentioned in this meeting that there was either a cult could actually be in between just one person to another, or it could be many people in a diverse group. And the thing that got me is that he started talking about Ike Turner and Tina Turner and how cult-like that relationship was. And the reason why I mentioned this is because there is a violence that can control someone, and as we see in this film, we see Jeffrey's character Oliver. He tells us somewhat of his background, where evidently his father tried to burn him, and his mother kind of saved him from that. But and yet we see her, call him names over this laptop relationship. But ultimately, Oliver starts going out to a park and ends up meeting this girl, a young woman who, by the name of Sophie, who is played by a very well-known actress within the indie world by the name of Sarah Malakul Lane, and she's played in quite a few films lately, and she is also very beautiful. She's also a Thai model and actress, and she began modeling at the age of 14. So to see her in films like Jailbreak, and I know she's somewhat recently worked with David Sterling production, which has yet to come out, called Halloween Pussy Trap Kill Kill, which has yet to come out yet, and so on and so forth. She was also in Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, which I thought was a relatively funny film. But I thought that how the two kind of started talking to each other was kind of awkward at first, but then I kind of liked their interactions together. So ultimately, he started feeling like she really liked him for who he was, but he didn't know exactly how to, express that he had a very controlling, mother in the mix of everything. And I thought the film was very well shot. I thought that it was a very different romantic look at how we perceive the mind of a killer. I mean, sometimes when you're a forced killer, sometimes you still have human feelings in the mix there. And I think that it was a relatively different look at how a relationship can just fall into place with all these brutal killings, and they both come from different backgrounds. Sophie from a cult-like existence, and it just kind of ends up kind of a beautiful, maddening masterpiece at the end. So I thought that this was a beautiful story, and I'm not sure how much I could have expressed this in my review, but I really liked this much more the second time around viewing it. So hopefully you liked how I described this film, and I'll definitely have some more reviews for you later, but I wanted to get this one out there, and hopefully you like, subscribe, and comment down below if any of you have seen this film yet. So hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll look forward to sharing some more film reviews with you. In fact, stay movie watching. I always enjoy the adventure.